Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glen.
He's my husband, Glen.
And before you get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Tonight, Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode number 14.
A hot mess.
Episode number 14, a hot mess. The couple's go on their retreat, and we see a lot of fireworks going on at the ranch this week. A lot of fireworks is going on. We couldn't even get out of Houston good before we saw fireworks. So it's a big week. So where do you want to get started at?
Well, you know, I like to do least drama filled to the most.
Let's start from least to the most. Let's go.
All right, so who you want to do? Jose and Rachel?
Jose and Rachel. Let's
start. We don't have much from them.
Now we have much to Jose and Rachel. Let's go Jose and Rachel. Rose, as they like to be called. Rose. Jose and Rachel.
So basically, we do see them interacting a little bit before they go to the ranch, but primarily we see them going to the ranch. We know that they have the couples retreat, and they actually get to the barn.
Yeah.
The retreat it's a cowboy type ranch.
Yeah.
Retreat, and so they get to the barn second.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel says, you know, they're there. They want to focus on their marriage, and that's what the couples retreat is supposed to be for.
It's supposed to be that you focus on your marriage,
so they can focus on each other and focus on their marriage. And so they talked about getting back to reality, but it's not time for them to relax.
Yeah.
They have to focus on them. And let's see. Gosh, it's hard. We got to get into the others, but there's some things with Jose and Rachel. The one thing I want to say, so of course drama ensues while they're on the ranch.
Definitely.
And so later on, while Rachel and Jose are kind of decompressing and talking about the events of the weekend, Rachel says, you know, she says that they got into their thing, but it kind of helped them see where they need to do some work, where they need to fix. Oh, it's so hard not to.
but they got a lot to fix, though. I mean, Rachel and Jose, I mean, Jose still hasn't came to the deep root of what his control issues are. Mm-hmm. You know, we've seen him being kind of mellow and chill since he blew up at her and since she came back to him. But it's still there. He never really fixed the issue or fixed the problem. So they was hoping that they would get some kind of resolution or get to work on them there. And we didn't see anything really much with them there at the retreat. They became like innocent bystanders.
Oh,
and watched everybody else act a fool.
Yeah, the one thing she did say is, like we said, you know, they had their blow up with Jose putting Rachel out, which he says he did and she left.
Whatever.
We know that's a lie.
Yeah.
But in the scenario of everything that happened, she says, you know, if they had gotten into something as dramatic as what happened, you know, it would make her question their relationship. And so she's trying to talk about where the other couples may be at. And, you know, she says it's hard not to focus on what happened before with them and what's going on with the other couples. But she said in that space, coming out of retreat, she feels loved. She feels like they're in a good place.
Shoot, when you compare yours to everybody else, you feel loved too. Let's be honest. I mean, let's do what couples do. They got in the car, but that road trip back home. I don't know if y'all been on a road trip like been somewhere and y'all see other couples messy and y'all go out to dinner, and when you get in the car, that road trip, that conversation back home is one of the great conversations because you sharing your opinion. Like, did you see what so and so did? So I can imagine their road trip back to Houston, and when you compare their relationship to everybody else's. They have flying colors right now. They're doing well.
Mm-hmm. And Jose says that they feel better with what they've gone through and looking at how everybody else deals with it, that if something comes up between them, they can work through it. They have the tools somewhat to work through any issue.
You should have the tools when you see other people and you realize don't do what they did.
But so many people don't do that. You know, they see what other people are going through and everything, and they take the attitude that that's them, not me, as opposed to taking it as a learning opportunity of what not to do. And that's the thing that Rachel says. She says that when you get into issues, and it's important not to be petty and not to be vindictive. That doesn't come off well. And their goal is just to keep learning each other day by day.
That's it. Learn each other day by day. To the next couple.
That's what I thought you were saying. Like, that's it with them. Okay.
That's it with them. Next couple.
Okay, who's next?
Myrla and Gil.
Myrla and Gil. Okay.
Myrla and Gil.
All right. So we see them preparing to go to the ranch, and the one thing that Gil kind of points out, he was like, "Oh, Myrla, you said you grew up on a ranch. You know, do you have any Western gear?" And she was like, "No, I don't have any Western gear." And she's like, "That's why I left. I didn't like the ranch life. I don't have no Western gear. I'm not for it. That's why I left."
Again, Debbie Downer, but I like her. I mean, you're gonna get what you get. At least with her, you don't have to figure out what you're getting. If she doesn't like it, she's gonna let you know. If she does like it, she's gonna let you know. If she semi-like it, she's gonna let you know. You know what you're gonna get from her. That's why she likes it. Right? If it's not her idea, something that she wants to do, that she plans, you're gonna get what you get from her. But I like her though. I think she was ready to go to the ranch.
She was.
And her Louis bags.
So as they're riding, we see Myrla wants to take a picture of her and Gil. She tells Gil to smile. He's like, not wanting to smile. She says, "Fine. I'll take a picture with Hype." And you and I both were like, "Oh, wow. Hype's really grown on her. She's taking a picture with Hype." And we were also like, why is Hype with them? Which we find out a little bit later.
Yeah, Hype's her best friend now, dog. And think about it. I mean, Gil works 3 days or 2 days out of the week, just 24 hours, 48 hours straight. So it's her and Hype. So her and Hype have built a relationship and a bond. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it slobbering, but she like Hype.
Right.
Quality time.
Right. So they're actually the third couple to arrive at the ranch, and we'll go back through who was first, because who's first that goes with everything else. But and the funny part is she trips coming in the door. And she tells them, "Oh, edit that out." They're not gonna edit.
They're not gonna edit that out because anytime they can make it get a good laugh. Because I thought it was funny because she had a nice red bottom wedges, and she was walking in and she was strutting like she was, and that little
on that gravel,
and that little step got you, and she tripped in with her bags. I'm like, go ahead, it's alright, edit that out. No, it's not gonna happen. Bro.
We find out that Hype is with them because Gil's sitter bailed on them at the last minute. So they had to bring Hype with them.
I love y'all people who have dogs. They have sitters who come in and sit with the dogs. Our dog used to
take them to the kennel.
Our dog went to the doggy hotel, as we like to call it.
Same thing.
He went to the doggy. We took him to the doggy hotel. I took her to the doggy hotel. She enjoyed it.
I think she did.
All the free snacks.
I think she did. So Myrla says this is her first time being forced. We know that Myrla's an introvert. So she said this is the first time she's being forced to stay in a place with other people. And she is not excited about it. She sees, there's one bathroom. We gotta share not one, but this one in particular. She's like, I gotta share a bathroom with somebody. Oh my gosh.
And man, I'm telling her, like, you never been to college? Like, what did you do in college? You never been, when you had a dorm room, you got suite mates, you got all these people that hang out together. Obviously, she ain't been to jail, so we know that's not right there, right? So she would have hated that. But you ain't been to college? Come on.
Maybe she didn't stay on campus. Maybe she didn't stay on campus because she is an introvert and she don't feel like dealing with people.
Even though cats, we know they have singles, right?
That's who.
They still share the bathroom. I'm just saying. It's just college life.
Yeah. Here we go. So in talking to Gil, she says, she would have preferred if they had separate individual cabins. And Gil's like, it's cool with me. He's like, I'm a people person. I feed off of people.
I save people. I mean, he like
right.
Yeah,
he said he feeds off of the people and being with people, and Myrla not so much, which we know.
Yeah.
We watched her in this episode, like she looked uncomfortable quite a few times, having to be,
But she was laid back watching.
Yeah, she was, but she still looked like I'd rather be in my room by myself.
But she got cuddled up and she laid back watching and watched the fireworks and enjoyed the show.
So after the fireworks, when everybody goes to their little separate corners or whatever, we see Well, that wasn't actually after fireworks.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, in the middle. But Myrla and Gil go horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that
Gil
is, he said, I have a healthy fear of horses. Kind of like Vincent.
He liked Vincent.
But he seemed more apt to do it than Vincent. Vincent was very...
He was more apt to do it, but Gil could not pull a Myrla. He couldn't be like, oh, I ain't doing that. Nope, don't want to do Hosey. Mm-hmm. I would like to see him do that.
Right.
And see how she responded. But he wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to pull her. He was going to try new things because he wants her to try new things.
But Myrla's MO is not that she wouldn't do it, but she would complain the whole time or be like, I feel like I'm going to get, like she did on the helicopter, I'm going to get sick. It's so tight in here. He didn't do that. Because he wanted to do what she's used to riding horses. She used to ride horses. It was something that she wanted to do. So he was willing to participate. He had a really good attitude about it.
Yeah.
So she said what she said was she used to ride horses when she was little, when they visit her, the rural town that her mother was from in Mexico. And Gil said he feels like a cowboy,
Had a nice little hat on, though.
They did. And at the end of the ride, they have a nice little ride on Mojo and Ladybug. Gil was like, okay, when we get out of this little, fenced-in area, is my horse going to be okay? The lady's like, oh, yeah, your horse will follow by.
You'll be fine.
And at the end, Myrla said she had a good time. Gil had a good time. But here's Myrla. She was like, I wish we could have ridden longer. I wish we could have gone faster. I don't think Gil could have handled going faster.
And then Gil goes to her and tells her why. Basically, so why you got to complain about everything?
Yeah.
Why can't you say we had a great time, period?
Yeah, she said, I had fun, though.
But, again, when you're having a good time, I don't need the negative in every situation.
Right.
Don't need the negative. Give me positive. Mm-hmm. I had a good time. I enjoyed spending time with you. Done deal.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what? I just love spending time with you. I know it could have been longer, but that's it. Done. Mm-hmm. Just something, not just the whole, and not that she took it bad, because in her little vignette, she was like, you know what? I like when my husband says things to me. It makes me aware to try to fix the issue so I can get better and communicate more with him. Because I think the way Gil says it is not mean, not malicious, but it's the way he's saying it out of care and concern. Like, this is what I like. This is when we're doing something together, I would appreciate if you did X, Y, Z. And let it go that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He said it in a nice way.
Yeah.
And to the point where Myrla could say, I receive it. And
he even joked about it. He like, what? I receive it too? I receive, I like them. They cute together, and they're doing well.
Yeah. So at the end, when the retreat is over, Gil's like, things are going well, but he tells her, you can be a little bratty. And, you need to consider the other people, the rest of the people that are around. And he questions if this is something he could put up with for the rest of his life, with her being a little bratty. I feel like she wasn't that bad. Not
on this episode, she wasn't.
Yeah, she wasn't that bad.
I mean, I think you put up with her 8 weeks, you can put up with her for 18 years. Just my theory. If you put up with it that long, you get, not that you get used to it, but you understand what it is. And you move on. So.
All right.
Bao and Johnny.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Bao and Johnny.
Believe it or not.
No, they had a lot of issues. They weren't like everybody else, but they had issues coming in.
Oh yeah. And the issue that I had with them coming in is Johnny was like, he was going to try his best not to spend as much time with her. That is not the purpose of the couples retreat. Is to reconnect. You got 2-3 weeks left.
You can't blame Johnny because she didn't want to reconnect neither.
Right.
She was going just to go. And he didn't want to reconnect. They wasn't sleeping in the same room. They wasn't having another conversation with each other. They were just going through the motions. And Johnny was like, you know what? I'm just here. I'm here. I'm hanging out with the rest of the couples. And I'm trying to stay far away from Bao as possible.
That sucks. And, going into it, Bao's like, we're not doing well. and she's disappointed about it. I'm sure Johnny's disappointed about it because he didn't expect it to go this way either. But he's not doing a whole lot to help the situation.
He's checked out. He's done, and I think he was done when she, the after the whole cooking situation and the gourmet meal and all that. Johnny has been checked out for weeks now. And then when him taking sex off the table, which he enjoyed with Bao, and with her not meeting his need, the whole bowling situation. He's done, and it's like, you know what? I just want to go through here, get it done. There's no reconciliation. We're not intimate. We're not doing anything together. So guess what we want to do? And what I want to do is just go through the motions, so I don't get fined. I can get my paycheck, and I can call it done.
The one thing I do want to point out, she was like excited to reconnect with the other couples, not so much Johnny. And on the way there, they rode together, and he asked her, "Hey, do you like doing road trips?" And she said, "Yes, with good company."
Yo,
that was like shady.
About throwing that shade on.
So shady.
She threw the shade. She did what? Hey, look, and this was the theme throughout the show. If you're mad at your spouse, or you let them know how you feel, and she let them know how she felt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far from Houston this place was, but they had to ride in this car with each other. And y'all know how it is. If you mad with your spouse, you either ride in the car or be around each other. It seems like every song on the radio is garbage. They're not. If they drive too fast, why are you driving so fast? If the heat up, can you cut the heat down? If the air on, can you cut that out? Too cold. It just everything becomes a snowball effect. It becomes like anything they do. Snack. Oh, you act like you're sleepy. I'm not sleepy. Keep your both hands on the wheel. Move out of this lane. It just everything becomes an issue.
And so when they get to the barn, Bao and Johnny get there fourth. They talk to Gil, and Gil was like, "Oh, you have to go pick your room before Brett and Ryan get there, because Brett and Ryan are the last couple to get there." And Johnny is nervous because he's looking around and he's like, "Okay, I'm sure there's only one room per couple, and it's probably only one bed in there."
Yeah.
And he was like, "My comfort level with my spouse has gone backwards. I do not want to stay in the room with her. Don't want to sleep in the room with her." And he's already thinking about making a super big pillow fort. He was like, maybe I could put enough pillows between us.
It's two reasons why Johnny don't want to sleep in that room. One, him and Bao not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Two, she snores. And it goes back to what I said. If you're not on the same page, everything your spouse does irritates the living heck out of you. And so her snoring was going to irritate him, and he knew it. So he's like, you know what? I'm gone.
Yeah.
But Johnny doesn't pick a room yet. Him and Bao.
No.
Bao they pick a room. Take that back. They pick a room, but Johnny hasn't found out where he's going to sleep at as of yet.
Right. We haven't made that determination. And we'll come back to that was it with Bao and Johnny.
Yeah. No interaction.
Yeah.
No interaction with them, but we'll talk about Bao a lot later. So.
Oh yeah.
Because she has a big role.
Yeah. So let's go ahead to Brett and Ryan.
Brett and Ryan.
So they're getting prepared to come to the ranch, and she was like, "I really don't know what to bring to the ranch." Of course, Ryan's like, "Oh, this is my element. I know what I need to bring." Mm-hmm. She tells Brett that she had a conversation with his sister Alexa.
Yes.
Lord have mercy. And she was like, it was interesting because she noticed her perception of where they were then versus now. She noticed it. And they talked about that it seemed to be a switch there from how good they were at first to where they are now. And she tells Ryan that his sister says that, well, he seems distracted to me.
So what she got to lose? That's his sister.
Maybe there's someone else from the past that has popped up. And Ryan is driving. Yes, he's driving the car, and he's like, he's still driving, but he's stuck.
But you
like,
his face.
I know the heck.
His face. If you look at his face, it changed. His movements, his body positioning changed. It get the stoic look like, oh, why would she say that? Why would she say that for? Well, she's like, she noticed every time, that when you came back, things were different. And so he didn't And one thing I think he learned, or we didn't see in editing, and he's probably smart, he shut up. And he knew if he kept talking, something may fall out. He shut up. I'm not saying that's right. I wouldn't give him a high five, good move, whatever case may be. But she should have been a telltale sign. Dude got quiet. So there's something, when there's smoke, they usually fire. There's something there. But she didn't really push the issue along in the car. Mm-mm. Now that's the fine time to push it though, because you ain't going anywhere.
Right.
You got a nice little drive. Go ahead and push that issue. Push it a little bit. Is there somebody else, Ryan? Are you seeing somebody else? Is your sister right? Are you distracted by somebody else? What's going on?
Yeah, but I guess it's like you said, she doesn't want to make the road trip too uncomfortable.
It's already uncomfortable.
So I mean, but even more so. So I think she took the path of least resistance. But anyway, he's like, yeah, how'd that even come up? And she was like, well, you know, she noticed, and you know, we're not communicating well. And she said, I feel like it's a lot of stuff that other people know that I don't know. And he was like, why would you say that? She was like you tell other people that you rather just be friends. And, you know, that, you know, we're not working on it. He said, you know, we've had this conversation before. It's not like we haven't talked about it. And then some things, the way I feel or think, basically, he said, I don't feel like everything needs to be said. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yeah, it does. Yeah.
I think when you in this relationship, in this case, everything needs to be said. You need to lay everything out on the line. You have again, we always talked about it. You have an accelerated process. You have 8 weeks, so everything needs to be laid on the line. Are you seeing somebody else? Do you like me? Do you not like me? Are we compatible? Are we not compatible? Am I your type? Do my feet stink? Am I too messy? Do you not like my cooking? Whatever the case may be, we find out later on that and unfiltered that she was coming home at 2:30 in the morning. Again, those are conversations that you need to have. Why are you coming home at 2:30 in the morning? You ain't working that late. Ain't no volleyball game that late. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Where that conversation needs to be had. And so if I'm investing in this relationship, if I want to fix this relationship, I have to have that conversation.
Yeah, but the one thing he said was he picks up on actions more than words. Okay, sir, but that's you. She don't know you well enough to pick up on your actions. You need to verbalize. You need to open your mouth, and you need to talk and tell her what's what. Just like you brought it up, what he said on Unfiltered about the fact that, basically, I'm going to say this real quick, and they get into this, is the fact that Ryan made the decision when he talked to Dr. Pepper that I'm going to really try. Mm-hmm. I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to try to work this thing out. And at the same time, he decided that I'm going to put forth more effort. It was the same time that she was like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And they are on completely different pages, and it's flipped. Like, they have not been on the same page, but they're definitely not on the same page at the same time.
No.
They're like way off. And like I said, when he decided, I'm going to try, she was like, no thank you.
It took him too long to try to talk and open up.
Yeah.
And it took her too long to try to meet him where he's at and meet his needs. And so they just crossed each other as they were driving, as they were going in the path. And so that's one of the things that they need. Mm-hmm. He looks stressed all day long.
Gosh, I mean, yeah.
He looked like he is just miserable. Mm-hmm. Like he's sweating buckets. His eyes are just. Ryan looks like he's ready to go home and check this bad boy out and get rid of it. Ryan looks like, you know what? If I could leave today,
I would.
If I could leave, I don't want to hurt her feelings because he's still on this. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Mm-hmm. I still want to be the Mr. Nice Guy, and we even find out later on that he does things for the camera. Like, why are we talking about this now? Mm-hmm. With all these people here. Mm-hmm. He has an image he want to uphold, and he's not gonna be nasty or mean to her. But he's protecting her.
Yeah. So we see Brett and Ryan get to the Barn Ranch Airbnb thing. They get there last.
Yeah.
And they get there just in time for dinner. And so we see later on Bao and Johnny, Brett and Ryan, having a conversation by the fire pit.
Right, and that's after everybody else is going to bed, right?
Yes.
Everybody else is like, oh, we're going to bed, so you see Myrla and Gil go to bed with each other, coupled up, boom. Zach and Michaela go to bed with each other, coupled up, boom. You see Jose and Rachel going to go to bed with each other, coupled up, boom. Now you got the two couples who are beefing, who have already been sleeping in separate rooms, right? Now they're sitting there by the fireplace and like, okay, what we going to do?
And Johnny's like, where you sleeping at? What's the sleeping arrangements? Y'all need to go pick your room. You know, all the rooms have been picked, so you need to figure out what's what. And
they noticed that there was 6 rooms.
Yes, 6 rooms.
There was 6 rooms for 5 couples. So there was 1 extra room that was there. So now everybody start calculating what we're going to do. And then Brett goes up and says, you know what? Ryan goes up and said, oh, I have no problem with sleeping with Brett. We'll sleep together. And Brett was like, huh? What? No, we not. We ain't talking about that. And what Ryan said he meant to say was, look, we're adults. We don't have to sleep in the same bed, but we can sleep in the same room if need be. We may not sleep in the same room at home. We may not sleep in the same bed, or I'm in my apartment, whatever the case may be. But at least here, I try to kindle something together. And I blame Ryan because he could have had that discussion in the car. They knew going on this retreat, you know what, they probably put us in the same room. So let's have a conversation. Do you want to stay in the room with me? Can we sleep together? Because my boy Zach did. Zach was like, yo, are we sleeping together tonight?
Yeah, he did.
Let's be honest, Zach he put his plug in. Ryan could have did the same thing.
Yeah, again, this actions and words thing, you gotta use your words, sir. You gotta use your words. And so they come to the conclusion. Ryan says, well, I'll sleep in the room with Johnny.
Yeah.
And so Bao says, oh, good. So that means each one of us, her and Brett, have a room to themselves. Yeah, sure. Okay. They're going to have a room to themselves. But then we see Johnny and Ryan in the kitchen playing rock, paper, scissors for who's actually going to take the room and who's going to take the couch.
They couldn't sleep head to foot? Foot to head? They didn't want to sleep on the floor with each other. And if I'm Ryan too, I'm not coming all the way to sleep on the floor. Let's do paper, rock, scissors, one out of one. I think Johnny was like, let's do 2 out of 3. Ryan like, nope, let's do 1 out of 1. Whoever wins.
And he lost on the first.
And he slept on the couch.
He lost. The one thing that I wanted to say, Bao said that, she didn't want to sleep in separate rooms. But she says, I'm sucking it up. She said Johnny wants to be in a separate room so that they can work on building the foundation of their marriage. He wants some time to himself and so she says, I'm sucking it up to make Johnny happy. And I'm going to do level 1. But I'm not happy about it.
No.
You can't work on no foundation with you and your spouse, your stranger spouse, in different rooms. Johnny's full of crap.
He knew.
Just say I don't feel like being bothered with you.
He knew he was full of crap because he said he didn't want to be with her the whole time. So it's like, we're not going to work on anything. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, Johnny has already checked out. Johnny is like, hey, I'm here just for the TV time and my paycheck. So I don't get fined. I'm here for that. That's what he is. He doesn't want anything else. He doesn't want Bao anymore. He's tired of that. We tried that. It's not going to work. This is a guy, and I want people to understand it. This is a guy who said he's been on 100 dates again. That he had dropped girls for less. He told us in previous episode, if this wasn't an 8-week commitment I had to sign up for, I would have already been gone. So I don't expect anything more out of Johnny. Johnny, they might have a conversation. They might even go out on a little dinner date for at the end. Johnny is like, hey, I'm just going to do whatever it needs to be. I don't even imagine him having any more affection on camera. That he's done.
Yeah.
And I think Bao at this point realized, you know what? I think she said it. I shouldn't be treated like this. I don't want to be treated like this. I'm not going to let him treat me like this. And guess what? I'm not going to be around anymore. I'm not gonna let him treat me, or I'm not gonna have these feelings anymore. And it's sad, but they done.
Yeah.
They're toast. And the experts can't even help them.
And we see Johnny and Ryan talking. Also, Johnny's like, I'm trying to make the best out of a weird situation.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to stay positive. And when he does his little vignette, he says, again, like we said before, his goal is to spend as little time as possible with Bao, and to not have any arguments or bring the other couples down.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Johnny shouldn't have slept with Bao. When you don't want to rekindle something, or something happens the right way or the wrong way, and then you find yourself intimate, and then it just makes it even cloudier. So the right decision was made.
Mm-hmm.
And,
and they had a conversation again, continued, like, have y'all decided where you're at? Ryan says, I think Brett has shown where she's at, and the only thing bothering him, like I said before, is after his talk with Dr. Pepper, he said he's going to put in the effort, and at the same time, that's when she checked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, I wish I had been more vocal about my expectations coming into the weekend. And he's not sure if it would have changed anything about the sleeping arrangements, but at least he would have been upfront and said, what he wanted to say. And then, like I said, they play rock, paper, scissors to decide who's going to sleep on the couch, which I think is, why are we doing this? Because Ryan just had this whole conversation in the apartment with Brett about getting off the couch and wanting to sleep in the bedroom. He wasn't sleeping in the other bedroom because all her junk was in there. So she went in the room with the junk, and he went in the main bedroom because the couch was hurting. He didn't complain, no little bit.
That couch is better.
At all.
That couch is bigger.
About having to sleep on the couch.
Couch is bigger and better.
It's foolishness.
A little bit firmer.
Foolishness.
Firmer.
Foolishness.
Good for his back.
Alright. So
we're doing it at the table. Go back to Brett and Ryan when they're sitting at the table. One thing, they were honest. They actually were able to have a decent conversation. They were honest with each other about the way they felt, about what was going on. And I like how they're, and I like how they have conversations, how they converse with each other, because it's not argumentative. It's not aggressive. No one raises their voice. They're actually having a conversation like they're friends. Like decent people who are in a relationship, no one cursing each other out. And so they have, again, like grown people, should have, this is what I didn't like about you. This is what I did like. This is what you said that made me upset. This is what you did to make me feel this way. I thought that was pretty neat on their point, or grown up on their part.
Yeah.
To be able to have that solid conversation while they were at the table, to get some things out that they hadn't gotten out, because there were opportunity to spend time together, and they were able to get that out and to get some kind of clarity to their relationship.
Because what I wanted to say is, so again, Bao and Johnny, Brett and Ryan, they did a couple thing. They went skeet shooting.
Yep.
And they had that conversation after they went skeet shooting. So I just want to talk real quick about the skeet shooting. So this is something Ryan has done. He's used to doing it. We know that Brett's excitable. She was like loud, unexpected noises. She's not feeling it. So she doesn't want to do the skeet shooting. Johnny doesn't want to do the skeet shooting. So the two of them sit in the golf cart and they have a conversation. Meanwhile, Ryan and Bao are skeet shooting, and Bao's a little rambunctious with the gun. She's like waving it around.
Bao is I'm coming of age here for a minute. Bao is Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith show. Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith show. Where he got the gun, he's shaking, and you don't know where the gun goes. It automatically went off one time, and you think she's gonna shoot herself in the foot. Johnny's like, oh God, I'm gonna die. That's why Johnny didn't want to go shoot the gun. He's like, I'm not gonna be that close to Bao.
Yeah.
While she got a shotgun in her hand. I'm not gonna. And Brett just didn't shoot it just because.
Because she said it was too loud, and she opted to sit out, and we know she's spastic, Wow. So because even while she and Johnny were sitting there talking and they're shooting, she's flinching.
Shoot the shotgun, dog. It's not. It's clay. Shells is going in the air. Boom!
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ryan missed. For Ryan to have been experienced, he was mad at himself. He was like, I missed all of them. Like, I missed them.
When you talk about how good you are,
and then you're not.
You're not there.
And so, like I said, while Ryan and Bao are skeet shooting, Brett and Johnny are having a conversation. They talk about the lack of trust that they have, and Johnny says he feels like he and Bao talked about the deep conversations too fast, and it stirred up their issues, their disagreements. And Brett's like, well, I think me and Ryan were the opposite. We didn't talk about that, and now it's like, where do we go now? We need more conversations to see where each of us is at.
Yeah, but they're not willing to have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? They're not having those conversations at all. You have to be able to have that. And Ryan, and you know, people say, oh, we're not having those conversations. Well, somebody has to start it. That's the thing. Somebody has to start the conversation. If you don't start the conversation, it's never going to get started. So when you feel like, hey, I need to get closer or deeper with my mate, my spouse, have the conversation. Start that thing. Hey, you know what? This is what I want from you. Can you tell me this? Can we feel like this? I want to be honest with you. I want to be deeper with you. Can I go deeper with you? Allow me to go deeper with you. I want to share this with you. Or can you share some things with me? Because Dr. Viviana told him that too, that y'all got to learn to get to know each other and act like y'all don't know each other. Well, the only way we get to know each other is communicate with each other, whether it's love letters, whether it's at night sitting there before we go to bed, whether it's even dinner or breakfast that you like to eat all the time. Have those deep conversations. It doesn't have the other way to be arguments. How are you feeling today? And be honest when somebody asks you, how are you feeling? Let them know.
And, you know, like Johnny said, I can't take it.
Fix it.
Like Johnny said, he said they had so many arguments up front. You know, Brett was like, I wish we had some arguments, you know, or disagreements just to see where each one of them is at. But Johnny says it sounds like a conversation that Brett should be having with Ryan. Like, you need to talk, like, where are we at? What's going on?
Yeah.
And he encourages Brett to be more direct in what you want to say. And so, like I said, they talk later after they go skeet shooting, Brett and Ryan do, about, you know, what's the plan going forward? What are we going to do? And Brett tells Ryan, you know, it's like your actions say, or your words say, let me get it right. So your actions say you want to try, but your words say you don't want to try. And he's like, I do want to try. You know, she was like, I need your audio and your video to, you know, I need to match up.
They need to line up. They need to match up. They need to match up. They need to line up.
And she says, like, for example, this sleeping in the bed thing, like, what the heck? And he was like, well, you know, I wanted to do it different. I thought this was a point for me to be grown about it. And it just didn't come off like I expected it to. You know, he said this weekend he wanted to try something different. And he realized it wasn't his best option. Especially without expressing that to her. Like you said, in the car, we had plenty of time to talk. We could have talked about it in the car.
I know I'm going on a retreat with you, and we're having some difficulties, right? In our relationship. We're going to fix that before we get around other people. Because, again, I want this weekend to be an enjoyable weekend. We want to be able to fix the problem, the issue. We're going to spend a lot of time with each other. Let's not be here with these 8 other people and be mad and miserable. Let's enjoy. So let's fix whatever the problem is.
Yeah, and what I thought was funny was, you know, Ryan was like, I didn't want to make a scene, but now we clearly made a scene. And so when he says scene, to me, like, you know, normally when people say I'm making a scene, it's like, you know, like you're embarrassing yourself. But I think he's making a scene, like, if you ever watch The Housewives, they call it a moment. You try to make this a moment. So I think that's what Ryan was trying to say. I wasn't trying to make this a moment for people to, like, you know, hone in on what it is that we're doing or whatever. And he said, but clearly this is a scene now. So it's going to be a point where people will go back and analyze what we're saying and pick us apart.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But he says, you know, he was looking for any time to follow through on what he had planned to do, and he thought it could only be positive for him, but he said it didn't turn out to be that.
Yeah, didn't turn out to be that way.
And, you know, she says she had a problem with him saying it didn't turn out to be that. It's like you're going negative. Why you always got to go negative? You know, why are you acting like that? And she makes a point to say, as she's talking to him about his behavior, you say you want me to call you out on your BS, but then when I call you out on your BS, you go this way with it. Like, how can you say that?
Right. I mean, he said he can't. Some people they want people to call them out on their BS. We saw this in previous episodes. I think it was Brianna or even Vincent. Call me out on my stuff. And when people call you out on your stuff, like, oh, dang, you just called me out?
Mm-hmm, but you told me I
You told me I
You told me you wanted somebody.
You wanted me to do it. And I think want you to do it in a nice way. You know, by the way, you know you yelled at me yesterday, and I didn't like that. So please don't yell at me again. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, hey, dog, you acting like a punk.
Yeah.
Or you're not acting right. Or I need you to fix this. Or I need you to fix that. I need you to you know.
Yeah, she said her thing about it is, it's like when somebody asks me for boundaries, you know, I respect the boundaries, and, you know, that's what it is. And so then, if I'm giving and I'm not getting back, after a while I'll break down, and like I'm done with it.
I'm done.
And Ryan says the one thing he would have done differently is he wouldn't have expected someone to take his actions as he thinks it'll be perceived. Well, duh. She doesn't know you.
Right.
You can't make that assumption that she's going to understand your actions. You have to verbalize. You have to do what you do and let the person know this is what's what. And that's where he messed up at.
Yeah, hey, look, he's trying. They're trying. He's trying. But guess what? It's not going to work because she's already checked out. She's gone. She's done. Totally done. And I think that's the problem that they have. That when she's done, she doesn't want anything else to do with him because he's not meeting her need.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like we said it earlier when we started talking about them, they've crossed ways. Now he's trying to meet the need, and she's like, you know what? That ship
has sailed. Like I'm over it.
I'm over it.
I'm over it, and I'm over them.
We're over them. Let's get to the get going. The good is good. The fireworks. The main event of the evening.
And that is Zach and Michaela. You know it.
You know it. Zach and Michaela. Let's get to Zach and Michaela.
And we're gonna. Man, I hate. I'm singing again. But anyway, we see Zach and Michaela. They said, you know, we start with them. Zach talking about the fact that after she moved out, they kind of made up. They've gotten it back together. Mm-hmm. And he calls her and asks her, you know, are you ready to go? You all packed up or whatever.
Right.
And she's coming over there so they can ride together. He says this is the first time he's seen her since the fight. And what he wants is for her to apologize and say that she shouldn't have done it.
Do he know who he married to? Should have done what? This is where we had the discussion.
That's what I was about to say.
So we had the discussion at the house.
She shouldn't have done. Which part she shouldn't have done?
What part she should have done? Tell you not that y'all couldn't sleep together anymore? Or the part of her moving out? Now, I think he was talking about the moving out part.
The part of her telling you, that's fine, go ahead and go. Which part?
Yeah, you know.
I wish he'd been specific.
But
even if he was, she ain't apologizing for none of it.
Heck no.
I mean, she would be apologetic, but you know,
she'd be apologetic.
She meant what she said.
She meant what she said because again, he said if that day was decision day, they were going to get a divorce, and she said, well, if that's the case, why should we be sleeping with each other?
And we see that again in this episode. Again, based on what you're saying, why should it be this way? Why should it be this way? Okay, so she says she's all packed and she's ready to go, and then he says even though they talked, he still doesn't feel like they're on the same page. So Zach goes back and forth too. You know, it was like, okay, we're straight, we've made up, but we still don't feel like we're on the same page. So I feel like leave that we made up part, because you didn't make up. Made up is we got an understanding of each other, and we're on the same page. We got a good understanding, and you don't.
Yeah, I mean, makeup is again. We're gonna move on. I forgive you. You forgive me. Let's go have a good time. Now they did kind of say that when she walked into the apartment. He was like, "You ready? Yep, I'm ready to go. Let's rock. Let's move." They got in the car. Mm-hmm. We saw them stop at the lavender the lavender field, or whatever you want to call it. Lavender. I don't want to call it plantation. A place where there's a lot of lavender and there was some goats. And they had the conversation about the event that happened. We come to find out that Michaela actually did speak with Zach's brothers and her sister. And what Zach said on Unfiltered, that she spoke with her brother, she canceled the appointment with her brothers, but then she remade it up. She made it up, have a conversation with them, and everything's all good now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said she had a good talk with them, and with her moving out, she said she needed a space. And she's in a better place, and she can, having a conversation with them, she can pinpoint what triggers her. And the big thing is they need to figure out how to talk to each other. And she says she thinks they can overcome the communication issue.
She's very optimistic. Considering all they've been through, she's optimistic.
I ain't even saying considering all they've been through. I'm saying considering how, I'm going to say it, volatile she can get. She's quite optimistic.
She reminds me of somebody else we know. I can tell no names.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say names. I'm not really watching, but somebody we know. But she's very, hostile, and she's very towards that. She goes from 0 to 60 real quick. The person that we know, they put Vaseline on suits and things like that. And when people don't acknowledge them in different places and things like that, she is kind of that type of person.
Gotcha.
You got me now?
Yes.
You feel me? Okay.
It's not me, for the record.
No, it's not. It's not her.
Just say it's not me.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so he says, well, they talking about, what do you think we do well? And she says, I think we have fun together. That's what we do well. We, for the most part, we get along when we're doing the fun stuff. And
no one argue when you're doing fun stuff.
No,
that's not real life.
So they're out there feeding the goats, and he calls her the goat queen. And then the funny part, he says he calls her goat baby. But then I was offended. He tried to say she looked like one of the goats. I was like, don't go.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. But
I thought he was talking about the hair, so I left it alone because
I don't know. I just don't do.
Yeah, don't say
that. But anyway, and so in the conversation, he says, "So are we sleeping in the same bed tonight?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it."
Translation: we're sleeping in the same bed tonight. I hope I can get me some.
Basically.
I want to sleep in the same bed with you tonight.
Because nobody can convince us that they're not having sex. Like, why would you be upset about y'all not sleeping in the same bed unless y'all were having sex?
Yeah, no one. Yeah, I think he was real mad for the fact that he thought they was good. He thought he was gonna get some more cookies, right?
She gave me his pro chair.
She get some more cookies, and they was gone, right? And then she put him out and don't want to sleep with the same bed. And now he's like, we get to sleep in the same bed. I'm trying to cuddle up, lay up against you, do what we need to do, and try to get whatever I can get. And that's the mind of the dude. I'm sorry. That was his mindset. Oh, because he was too happy to say, oh, we sleeping in the same bed.
And she was like, okay, so, like, why are you looking forward to us sleeping in the same bed? He was like, because, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun sleeping in the same bed with you. Like, it's always, we can be, like it always is.
Yeah.
It's fun. And I'm like, shoot, what you mean it's fun? So y'all be playing under the covers, throwing the covers over your head. Peekaboo, what you mean it's fun? You sound silly. Basically, that being interpreted is fun laying with you, up on you, up in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they like. Are you makeup? Are you makeup? Are you makeup?
Mm-hmm. So then of course they get to the Airbnb with the barn ranch first, and they're having a conversation still too. What's your idea of marriage, most of the time, he said happiness. Most of the time he's consistent, and her feelings fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
She goes back and forth, and gosh, it's like all over the place with this because they blur into the couple stuff. So it's hard to keep it separate. But go ahead.
They're trying to keep it cool. He's trying to play it cool. He's trying to keep everything together. But he's walking on eggshells because he does not know if I say this thing to her or if I say that thing to her, will there be a blow up?
Mm-hmm.
If I do this, you can tell when there's a husband or a wife who's walking on eggshells. Every time they talk to their spouse, they looking at them like, is that okay? Did I say something right? Am I cool with that? And that's the way, when you look at Zach in some of these scenes, that's the way he was looking when he was having a conversation in the midst or the presence of Michaela. As if, you know what? Is it okay? Am I good? And when they sit down and have a conversation together for the first blow up, he's trying to explain, he can't explain it, and we come to find out why there was a blow up in the first place.
So yeah, they sit down and they have this conversation, and she says, I feel like I'm the only one that's trying. I'm trying to make something better. And he's like, wait, hold on, what do you mean you're the only one trying to do something? And but then we go into that he's shut down the relationship, and he says, if you don't know how I'm giving, then you've missed it. Last night we talked about it, and I told my husband, I said, I think this is the first time ever in history that this has been said, probably not done, but it's been verbalized. This is what we did. We talked about it last night, and we came to the conclusion that it's best for us to get a divorce.
Yeah.
We're going to get a divorce, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back together again.
Are y'all stupid? Are y'all dumb? Slow. Ride the short bus.
I'm trying to offend nobody.
Have an IEP. Not trying to offend anybody. I write IEPs. But anyway, what is wrong with you? What in the world do that make? Where do that make sense at? That we're gonna get a divorce, be separated, and then come back together. I see why Michaela got upset, and he even saw it later on Unfiltered. Like, oh yeah, Michaela was right.
It makes no sense.
So that's the case. We might well do like Jamie Otis said, work with each other, say yes on decision day, see how it works when the cameras are gone, and then make a decision if we're gonna get married or not and make a divorce. That makes better sense. But to say let's split up, take a break, then get back together. What if on that break I find somebody else?
And that's what I'm about to say. 9 times out of 10, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna find somebody else. Michaela's gonna go back to her buddy, her bed buddy. But anyway, so she says, but marriage is a whole lot more work than this is expected, and this is when he chose violence. Zach chose violence. He woke up that morning and chose violence.
Yeah.
Because he says, no, marriage itself is not hard. Marriage with you.
Well, did he lie? Now, all things are lawful but not expedient. He knew. I can see his mind now. If I say this, she's going to go off, but guess what? I don't care. He, like you said, he chose. At that point, he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, and I don't care if I hurt her feelings. I don't care if it makes her mad. I don't care if she gets up and leave and flip this table over. I like marriage. I'm ready for marriage. I just wasn't ready for marriage with you. Now, you can't. I don't agree with this. But you can't tell no woman that and don't expect the reaction. There's something coming.
This is okay. So this is my issue with it. You can't say that you were ready for marriage you were ready for peaches and cream.
Mm-hmm.
Easy like Sunday morning marriage. You weren't ready for marriage. Because, period. If it wasn't Michaela with her knee-jerk reactions, it could have been somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because going into the process, especially, what he should have said was, I really wasn't ready for the married at first sight process.
Bingo.
Because you don't know what you're going to get when you go into married at first sight, because you don't know this person.
Right, and it would save face for her.
It's who they set you. Yeah, but it's who they set you up with. In a normal process, you're ready for marriage because you've dated this person, you've gotten to know them. You've possibly been engaged to them for some time, maybe not. You know, y'all have gotten to know each other. You kind of worked out the kinks. You've developed a friendship while you're doing a romantic thing. And so that's when you're ready for marriage. But in a married at first sight, nobody is ready for married at first sight.
Heck no.
Nobody.
No.
Especially when you got your hang-ups, issues, fallacies, imagination, all of that.
See, I'm going to tell you what Zach was. And this is from a man's perspective. Zach was frustrated at the conversation. Mm-hmm. And so he said, I'm going to end this conversation right now. I'm going to say X, Y, Z. His frustration got him. He was like, you know what? I'm tired. So let me say this.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
She says, if marriage is so hard, why even continue any type of relationship with me? And he says, because we wouldn't be married anymore. It'd be different circumstances at that time. And that's when she lost it.
Which I don't understand why she lost it. She had a butt buddy. He just wanted to be her new butt buddy without being married. He wants everything else. He just does not want the argument and the tension and the frustration with her. If he would say, you know what, straight out, you know what, can we just have sex and be buddies? I don't want the rest of this stuff. Because Dr. Viviana said it on Unfiltered again. Zach wanted a perfect marriage. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage. He had this vision in his head. And people who want this perfect marriage and that go on this show, you're lying to yourself.
You need to do something else.
Because this is not the show for you to have a perfect marriage. They're going to pick, the person's going to have some qualities that you like, and then some qualities that you don't like. I don't care if you talk to Amani and Woody. There's some things Amani likes about Woody. There's some things she doesn't like about Woody. There's some things Woody like about Amani. There's some things that he doesn't like. Karen and Miles. Go down the list of those success stories, all those on Couples Cam. There are some things that they like about the person, and there's still some things they don't like about the person. And that person that they're married to is not perfect. Mm-hmm. And so Zach is looking for that perfect marriage, and Michaela is not it. She's not even in the same ballpark.
No, because she was like, I can't make this stuff up. This is what I'm talking about. And he's sitting there like, in the vignette, he was like, see, this is where I have an issue with her reaction. Like, why is she losing it? Because she's like, bro, what you said don't make no sense.
Nah,
you don't want to be married to me because you have an issue with the way I act. But you want to get divorced, be apart, and come back together. She was like, I'm still gonna be the same person. I'm not gonna change in the meantime.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change in the meantime. So what you're saying sounds stupid. Mm-hmm. Why be in a relationship with me? Because I'm still gonna be me.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I'd be happy because we wouldn't be married.
Legally binding, and there's commitment. So what he's saying is, I'd rather be with you long as there's no commitment, and we're fine. But since I'm committed to you, since I'm married to you, I'm gonna have to be committed to you.
He said we'd be outside this process. And, she's like, that wouldn't change me. Were you ready for marriage?
Yeah.
I was ready for, he said I've been ready for marriage since I was 17. And he was like, but I wasn't ready for marriage with you. You ain't ready for marriage with nobody, bro.
Nobody, though.
Nobody.
So now that
especially, as we said before, especially a married at first sight. The ideal person to go into a married at first sight process is somebody like, I'm gonna say it, because not some of our viewers, but it's people out there, they be hating on them. The perfect person to go into married at first sight is somebody like Gil.
Yeah.
Somebody that's patient.
Low key.
Somebody that's low key that can say what an issue is, but say it in a productive and a kind way. Mm-hmm. Someone who is not easily disturbed. Somebody that is not out here flexing all your foolishness.
Right.
With your person. You weren't ready. You shouldn't have. And he ain't the only one.
No, he ain't the only one. But we get so then they play the game, because we got to talk about the game they played. The couples get together and they play a game, most likely.
Can I say this real quick, though? In between there, with this incident, of course, Michaela's like, he's like, I just can't do this anymore. I was ready for marriage, but not you. I don't have any energy for this process. She's like, go. Bye. Thank you. I mean, I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm sorry. She was like, go.
Yeah.
Just go. She talks to Bao, which is ironic. She talks to Bao after the fact. She just Bao said she just came to check on Michaela.
Yeah.
And they have a conversation, and Michaela says, last night we had this conversation. He said, before he said he's not ready for marriage. And they needs to work on him. But then you come now and say you were ready for marriage. You just weren't ready for marriage with me. And, she says she feels like his behavior is different from before. He's putting on the front. And so Bao kind of puts it in perspective, like, don't put all your eggs into, you can't put all your eggs into getting in one way. And don't punish him for not being in the same space as you.
Yeah.
She really gives Michaela some really good advice. And Bao says, it sounds like he's already... If y'all are already at the point where you got some love going on, that's more than the rest of us have.
Yeah, I want to say this real quick. I don't know about y'all, and we've seen the rumors. How many of y'all looked at that episode of, when that part happening? Like, God, dog, she's talking to Bao, and to come to find out later, maybe Bao is with her man. I that's what I thought. I was like, ooh, that's...
I definitely did.
It came across my mind. Like,
it's process ironic that...
Yeah, you talking to... Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. And Michaela talks to her about her abandonment issues, and things aren't going like she'd expected, but he's in a Bao said, but he's in the relationship. Why throw him away? Don't throw him away. Yeah. He's in there trying to do something. Don't throw him away. And so Michaela considers that Bao says it's easier to quit. It's harder to work at it.
Yeah.
It's going to take some effort, but try to work at it. And so later, Michaela tells Zach that, I talked to Bao, and, she made some good points, and, it's where I can talk to you and stop self-sabotaging, and I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a game later, most likely to.
Most likely to.
Mm-hmm.
And the question comes up, who's the pettiest? Who most likely...
They have other questions, but
we're going to do this one, because we're going to do it with Zach and Michaela. Who's most likely to be petty? Right? And everybody chose, for the most part, Michaela. I think Johnny chose Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you can hear Gil off to the side, man. She petty. She taking the batteries out the smoke detector.
The fireman.
right. And so Michaela kind of agreed, yeah, I'm the petty one. And she said, that's right, I'm doing this. And Zach thought that his facial expression, like, this is the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like my wife is so petty.
I mean, because she went in. She was like, yep. She might as well have said, yep, I'm taking the spices out the house, because he felt some type of way about that.
Yeah, because she left.
She took the spices, bruh. She took the spices.
And she was like, I paid for them.
That's what she said on Unfiltered.
She said
I took everything that
I paid for. If I paid for it, I paid for it. And so she felt like it was petty, So she got that.
I thought it just sit on the floor. Forget it.
Zach felt some type of way about that. You know what I'm saying? About her, the game, and all, and what was going on. And they wasn't really, conversing or interacting with each other. He thought they were sitting beside each other, But he didn't think that was funny.
I mean, they were, yeah. I mean, because she went ham. She went ham. Told us, yep, I do this, I do that, yep, I'm petty, blah, blah, blah. She had her a good time with it, laughing about it. And so, after they played the game, she asked, what he thinks about today. And he says, the convo we had early, it was uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I just can't put myself in those situations anymore. I don't want to have those conversations. I don't want to deal with it. And she said, the conversation with Bao helped, but he's telling her, I feel like in the conversation when we're talking, it's like I'm dealing with two different Michaelas. You can't even remember what we talked about before, and you come back and you react in a way as if we haven't talked about it.
He keeping score. I'm gonna say he keeping score. He's like, I remember this was what I said. I know what I said, and this is not. And then, first of all, they don't listen to each other either way. So there's no telling if he said what he said or she said what she said, because we saw in this conversation here, they both kind of flip-flopped.
Oh yeah.
In the conversation. And so when they flip-flopped in the conversation, they got confused.
Man, they got flip-flop, topsy-turvy. It was just foolishness, because then she was like, when he was like, that tipped her off. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like you're at two different Michaelas. I don't understand. And she was like, well, you know what? You can go home tonight.
Yeah, you just leave.
You can leave, you can go home tonight. And she says, this is why I wish I had driven myself, because I knew he was going to do this bull crap. I knew it was going to be something. I should have just drove myself. And, she was like, now I got to figure out a ride back, because I don't want to ride with you. And he was like, wait, what? You don't want to ride with me? So, if you're not going to ride back with me tomorrow, then I'll just leave tonight.
So we thought they had a conversation prior to this. And if they might have, but I was like, whatever it was prior to this, Zach was ready he had committed to stay the night.
Right. Yeah, we came to a conclusion. It sounded like maybe he had talked about leaving that night. And you made the point, well, if he was leaving that night, why is he not unpacking his stuff? And we came to the conclusion that might have been like he was going to leave tonight, but then he was like, no, because we rode together. She didn't want to leave till the next day, so I'm going to stay and, figure it out. I'm pissed at you, but, it is what it is. Yeah. Because you were like, he's under the covers.
Got his pajamas on.
He got his pajamas on.
He's chilling.
Which, it wasn't really pajamas, because I swear he left in them shorts.
But whatever it was, he was in the bed like, you know what, I'm in here for the night. Not that he was getting ready to leave, right? But so when she said, go ahead and leave then, he was like, Word, you just telling me something I really wanted to do anyway.
She says, girl, you can go home now, bye. Don't worry about me, I'll get home I'm some way. And he's like, I can't just leave you like, no. She's like, no, go ahead, go. Go ahead and leave.
But then he wants to be a gentleman. No, I can't leave you. I brought you up here.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. I know, but I'm saying you got to realize, just the mind of the man, I'm being a gentleman. I wasn't raised this way to leave a woman stranded. I'm not going to leave you stranded. I don't want to leave you stranded, because guess what? Then that'd be another thing you accuse me of doing when we get back. Oh, you just left me stranded. And that can be an argument later on down the road. You told me to go. But again, he's kind of trying to foreshadow, how can I diffuse this and get this peaceful so I can come out looking clean, she can come out looking clean, and we can just both go to bed. At this point, he's just like, how can I make this smooth? Because he didn't raise his voice. He was talking calm.
I mean, they both were.
Yeah, but...
At that point.
But it was snippy.
Oh, yeah.
It was snippy.
And so then we get to the point where they're both sitting in the bed, and she's like, I don't know what's happened tonight. What did I do? What did I do to make you say that you want to be done tonight? What did I do? She says, we were literally out there. There is photographic, videography, evidence. We were out there having fun, laughing, joking, playing. And he's like, that's how you know.
I find it interesting that Married at First Sight didn't insert anything in there, right there.
Right.
Because they inserted everything else. We went back later on with all some other stuff they inserted in there. They rewind it when he told her, "Oh, this is what you just said." They rewind the tape.
Yeah.
To see what she just said. So if there was this footage out there, this would have been a fine time for them to insert. Hold on for a minute, pause, and put the insert this video.
But he's like, that's how you know I must be serious.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I'm confused. Like, I'm confused why you're going home. He says it's because, it's because she didn't want to drive with him. So drive back home with him.
Right.
So, because of that, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Since you don't want to ride with me, which, again, this is strange. You're saying that you can't get over the conversation from before, but then you don't understand why she doesn't want to ride with you. It was just crazy. It was all over the place. My sister was like, she watched it before us.
Yeah.
And she asked me, did I have my Tylenol already? I did. They gave me a headache. I was like, this is ridiculous. All right, so.
Because neither one know how to settle. They don't say, you know what, I'm done. Stop talking.
So he said, I'm going to leave tonight. And she says, okay, so I don't want to ride with you. And I'm going to get another ride. And he was like, no, that's not what happened. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were leaving tonight. So I can ride back with you. And then this is where he flips.
Yeah.
You said you won't go ride with me. And now you want to ride with me. He was like, I can't do this. You go back and forth.
He should have just shut up and said, okay, good. You riding with me tomorrow. Good night. Let's go to bed. Done deal. The conversation could have been over. All right, yep, you're riding with me tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. X amount of time. And we see why Jake left last time by himself in the middle of the night. And
yeah, he's like, I can't do this because, you just said you wouldn't want to ride with me. And she says, honestly speaking, she said, while they're trying to talk, she tells him, shut the F up.
Yeah.
Let me talk.
Oh, that right there exposed. See, that's when you knew it was getting ready to go to another level. When someone starts cussing you out in the middle of your conversation, it's getting ready to get real. It was starting to get real. Now I don't condone none of that. All right, but she started to get heated, and it started getting bad. And he realized that's why his first thing, you know what? I'm going home.
Look, I'm gonna make it real simple. Say it loud and clear. This is what she said. You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to worry about taking me home. And she picks up the phone.
And calls sister.
Michaela. Don't listen, y'all.
Involve
somebody else in your foolishness.
Nah.
Don't put them in the middle. Don't.
First of all, the family's too involved. His brothers are involved. Her sisters are involved. All these people are involved in it. To me, you call Pastor Cal. You call Dr. Viviana. You call Dr. Pepper. But you call your sister who's X amount of miles away. Y'all get on a laptop, type in Zoom. I need a meeting now.
This is the thing. Let's flash back to Brandon.
Family gonna always take side. Family always gonna take side.
Let's flash back to Brandon and Michael. It's production people there. Mm-hmm. The other couples. I know you don't want to be a third wheel. Maybe not. I mean, Bao and Johnny wouldn't mind. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to call her sister.
No.
You didn't have to involve her. And here's a nugget for you. Because this is what happens. I mean, obviously, Michaela and Zach are on the rocks. But this is what happens. You call your family members. You get them involved in your drama. You and your husband or wife, you make up.
Your family
ain't made up with them. They still mad.
Your family's still hot.
Don't do that. And then if you do, you got to be so careful if you want to talk to a family member, your brother, sister, about your relationship, you have to be careful how you talk. She called being messy.
Right.
Instigate right. I need a ride because he's getting ready to leave me.
See, this is what you do. And this is where it's at. You always call the ride or die person. Right? You call the person that can come and set it off with you. You don't call the person that's going to reason with you. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you the sister that she called is the sister that ride or die with her. The sister that she's ready to throw hands, then she's ready to throw hands. She didn't call the sister that, hey, you know what, I need you to calm down. Let's get yourself together. Peace, people, blah, blah. She's not your handler. And I blame the family anyway.
No, I think this sister that she called is Sharifa, and I think Sharifa's the one that said, you know, we got Hurricane K. That's the one. Sharifa's the one that she went out to eat with, and she was like, I see a difference in you. So I really do.
True. She called the sister and said, you know what, oh boy, you wrong.
This is a sensible sister.
Okay.
This is a sensible sister. Because if you listen to the conversation, it really doesn't get any worse. Because even Zach got on the phone.
Yeah.
And talked to her. And, you know, he was like, I want to get away from the situation. I don't like myself now, and it's mainly because of you. She said she don't, in the midst of the conversation, her sensibility comes in. And she's like, well, I know you want to leave now, but I don't think you should leave like that. In a huff. In an upsetness. And then she switches from get out, go, shut the F up, let me talk, to care and concern. You should be leaving in the middle of the night. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You shouldn't be leaving. And he is like, look, yeah, I'm going.
And y'all call Chris double-minded.
I didn't say she wasn't.
She's a double-minded person, unstable all the way. She is unstable. She's double-minded. And you can sometimes see those spirits just twisting in her because she jumped in and out so quick. She jumped in and out with stay, go. The opposite of what he was going to say. I need you to stay here. Do this. Even when he goes out and gets his luggage and pushes it out, she takes the luggage. Think of this. Not let him go. She takes the luggage and put it back in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you had just told this man to leave several times. He's trying to leave.
And you stirred up mess because you called your sister, got your sister involved.
Yeah.
That needs you to come get me because he's leaving.
Right.
Only to tell him don't leave.
Don't leave.
Because we're out in the country. It's dark. We had this heated argument. Anything can happen when you get out on the road. And to the point where just lay down, go to sleep, wake up in the morning and leave. Lay down. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
She pushed that man on the bed. Now, me and my wife had this discussion. I call it.
Don't do it.
I'm going to say it. She pushed him on the bed. And I think that's wrong and abusive. Because if he would have pushed her down on the bed, it would have been an uproar going on. Because he put his hands on this female and he pushed her down. Now, I don't care what she did it in and how she did it. She took him and literally pushed him on the bed. And no, we didn't see it, but if you go back and watch the clip, the word says that he pushed her on the bed. That she pushed him. And he's like, oh, you pushed me on the bed now? He got up and rolled out. There's never any justification in the midst of an argument that you put your hands on a spouse, male or female. Because that whole situation could have went real south quickly. I mean, real bad. If it was somebody else. I'm not even calling the other names because I don't know who on a show. I'm not going to say that. If it was anybody else, it could have went bad. Mm-hmm. And so I think she's kind of lucky that it didn't go that way when they got into the argument. Because there's abuse both ways, but somebody need to intervene in this. I was kind of scared for either one of them.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, in all this back and forth and dragging the suitcase and leave, don't leave, come back, we see Bao peeping out the window, out of her door.
And that's the other problem I have. If y'all peeping out, nobody really kind of got to get...
But she did.
And I know you don't really want to get involved with the domestic stuff because they always end up turning on you. And you're not going to calm people down. And so it'd be like production thing. They let it ride. Let that man go. They finally did once she got outside. They intervened. But Bao people through the door like, oh, what's going on?
And make it fun.
I never seen Michaela and Zach.
I never seen this side of them. They're yelling at each other. I never expected to see that. Like, they're yelling at each other. And so then we see it gets further. He goes out there. It's because obviously they must have went to bed before everybody else. Mm-hmm. To have this conversation. And they're out at the fire pit and Zach's like, I just came to say bye. I'm leaving. Yeah. Y'all want to say bye, all of y'all. And, you know, Myrla is like, you know, why don't you just stay, you know, and go. And everybody expresses concern, same as Michaela. like I said, I think her sensibility kicked in, because you don't want to drive. It's just like, Why Did I Get Married To? After Janet Jackson talking to Morris Chestnut, and he, she's all on that dude's head, and he drives off and boom, they have an accident. She's like, she doesn't want that on her hands. And so, but everybody's, like concerned about him going in the middle of the night. And Michaela's like, oh, Ryan, are you going to go with him? And he was like, yeah, I can go with him. She's like, if you're so concerned, you can go with him. And he's like, I can go with him, but he's intent on leaving. And she's like, Ryan, get in. And he's like, what? You can't make, that man is ready to go. You can't make me get in the car. And then what you want? I can't stop him. What you want me to do, lay up under the car?
And I like Ryan, what Ryan said was, as he walked off, like, and Zach drove off, like, you see why he's leaving? Like, you're the one that just, I said it a couple of weeks ago, a man would rather live on a rooftop than be with a nagging woman. In this case, that man,
contentious woman.
Yeah, a contentious woman. That man would rather drive in the middle of the night, pitch black, I don't know how many hours, I'm going to make it about 5 hours away to get home. He said, my happiness is in the car. Look at that. He said, my happiness is riding in this car by myself. Not with my wife, not with these people, not with the cameras, not with the lights. I'd rather be in this car, far, far away from her. Right now, this is my happy place. Let me be.
Yeah. Ryan was like, we were talking to him, and you just came and stirred the pot some more. And like you said, he was like, this is why he's leaving, because you acted foolish. And so did we see her go inside, and Category 5, Hurricane K.
We talk about this category stuff, right? I blame her family so much for this, because they thought it was cute that they even have a name for it.
I don't think they thought it was cute.
They thought it was cute. They didn't really address it. You wait to see when she get a hair. They didn't address it. Because what should have happened the first time that she had a hurricane episode? Somebody should have corrected it. They should have fixed it. And stop making fun of it. She even got names for it. Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, Category 4, Guess what? Fix your attitude. Fix who you are. And that stuff ain't cute. That stuff ain't cool. And they let it linger on, and now no one knows how to control it. And she has to control it herself. You're destroying stuff that doesn't even belong. You're breaking glasses, you're flipping chairs, you're slamming doors, you're yelling at production people. Cameraman. And I don't have anything against Michaela. I think she's a pretty looking girl. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. Her behavior in this episode was unacceptable, and it was wrong.
Yeah, it was terrible. I was just like, how did we get here? How did it get to this point? Like, it shouldn't have got to that point over, like, when she told the man to leave, she should have just let him go. She could have said, yes, now I need to find a ride home. It's 8 other people here. You can ride with any of them. You can ride with production if you have to. They each have their own little producer person. Mm-hmm. You could have rolled with them. The same chick that was holding her back in the room while she's screaming at the cameraman to get out. She could have rolled with her. It could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. It was just ridiculous and embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Bao is looking out the door, peeping, looking at you act a freaking donkey. Johnny slept through it all the next day.
Yeah, they know.
He's like counting. We missing some people. And I thought I heard glass breaking. And Gil's like, I don't know if she broke some glass. She did knock a whole lot of stuff over. But we hear from Bao that, she said she woke up to Michaela coming into her room, into her bed, distraught in the middle of the night, saying that Zach wanted to leave. And Michaela tried to go to sleep and she couldn't. So, she called her sister, and her sister came and picked her up early that morning. And Bao's talking about how I feel for both of them. I hope this week they're open and listening to each other, and Dr. Pepper can help them. And like I said, Johnny counts, it's only 8 people. Ryan says it too. It was 9, but Michaela left this morning. And, you know, Brett and Gil's like, yeah, you missed an eventful night. Even Myrla stayed up. She was up late too. You showed your tail in front of all of these people.
She made Chris's blow up look real nice.
Man.
Chris with the 2 girls in Vegas, he made Chris, because she blew up. This right here set her back. This here set her husband back. This here, to me, even set the show of Married at First Sight back. Because it questions, what are you putting on the show? How much research did you actually do? You guys didn't know about this temper before that you put her on the show. You matched him with somebody who is volatile. You know what I'm saying? Who is off the wall. You don't know if this Hurricane 5 can be violent or whatever case may be, and you put her with him. It could have went south real quickly. What if she, in this moment, gonna leave, she go grab something out of the kitchen, or she hits him over the head with a fry, anything. Y'all guys talked about this when we saw Brandon go off.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then Brandon was probably going to be, how did he do this? Michaela should get the same kind of smoke. Same kind of smoke coming away. She needs some professional help. She needs to go see a therapist, a counselor. If she needs medicine doesn't help you make decisions, but it just slows things down for you. But her behavior and the flip-flopping, when she got back home, her sister should have took her to somebody.
Yeah.
Because she needed that type of help.
Yeah. Bao and Ryan give Johnny the whole rundown. And in the middle of them talking, you know, they talk about the fact, like, everybody could hear them. Ryan said they're having a lively conversation. But everybody can hear them, and, you know, it's like Zach was ready to go. And Brett and Gil, and this goes to your comment about them inserting a video footage in between, Brett and Gil said, you know, we did notice that Zach was right quiet at dinner. And Bao says, you know, yeah, basically, he was stewing. And so they show a video, which this is after the most likely, after she has yucked it up and laughed about how petty she can be. And, like, he's not eating his food. He is, like, looking out the corner of his eye like, what in the world have I gotten myself into? I mean, he just keeps looking at her like, this chick is crazy.
He doesn't want to cause any waves. He's walking quietly. He doesn't want to ruffle any feathers at all. And that's why they shouldn't be together. That's why he needs to go back to his apartment. That's why she needs to go where she needs to be at. This relationship does not work. And let's not keep putting them in a situation with harm's way. And the show shouldn't put them back in a situation in harm's way. This man is scared.
Well, yeah, but Ryan also said, which if you look at it, I mean, this has been the case too. You know, Ryan says that at some point you can't keep just separating yourself from the situation. You know, you gotta talk it out. But like you said, it shouldn't be at the risk of his well-being, and his life. But this has been Zach's MO. I hop up and I leave. I hop up and I leave. I go. And I'm not saying he's not right for doing that, because she is acting real witty.
You know what I'm saying? She's throwing a tantrum. Nobody wants to deal with anybody who's a tantrum, especially an adult who's having a tantrum. I can leave. I can leave. I don't have to be around while you throw your tantrum. I can go home.
It was just ugly. Yeah.
I
told my husband, I can see for the next two weeks they have left, I can see, almost on the floor, I can see us not seeing Zach and Michaela.
Yeah.
Like we did with Chris and Paige. You know, it was like Chris was he popped in here and there, and Paige was there for the check. She went to several things, you know, but I can see us not seeing them till decision day.
Yeah.
And which I want to point out, that was one thing we didn't see here, which I think was odd. when the experts met with the couples. Remember other seasons they had, this was a stopping point where if you want out, you can be out. We didn't see that this time.
You know how many couples would have been out? You give that out to Johnny, we got one less couple.
It is what it is.
You give that couple to Brett or Ryan.
It is what
but
it is.
But hold on, if you give that couple the option to Brett or Ryan right now, guess what? Gone. If you give that option to Zach right now, he's gone. So now you're down to 2 couples.
But guess what? It would have saved this situation. We wouldn't even be talking about this if they had given. Or maybe would have. They would have been like, no, we're going to keep trying.
No. The 3 couples we named, if we'd have given them an out, they're gone. One of the 2 are.
I don't know why they decided not to do that.
They wanted a freaking TV show that comes on for 2 hours. You can't do that with 2 couples.
Oh, you can.
Oh, you can, but each couple get an hour? Oh man, look, Michaela and Zach need therapy.
It's
problematic. Done. And I just really believe, I don't think they should be together, but it's like Beth and Jamie. For some reason, I think Crazy is going to say yes on decision day. For some reason, I think either one of them or both of them will say yes on decision day. Which everybody in their right mind.
They're not going. They just said they're not going to. They said they were going to get divorced.
I still think something's going to happen. Ray Charles can see that they shouldn't be together. This shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be what it is. Ain't nobody put this together but Married at First Sight, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They saw the red flags. They chose to ignore them. Oh man, this is great.
And we're gonna have to like. It was so much. Like I really want to talk about the couples when they did dinner together and everything like that. But this was it right here. Michaela and Zach. I see y'all are out there telling us what y'all think about. It's just, I was really disturbed. I was just disturbed at the whole interaction, and I'm saying this as an African American female.
Yeah.
So don't get offended. Don't say. I was embarrassed for them. I was embarrassed for them.
Mm-hmm. I was really embarrassed.
You don't act like that in front of company.
Well, I was gonna say something else, but I can't say that. You don't act like that in front of people. Alright, because again, you are gonna be African American females are gonna be labeled. Alright? African American men are gonna be labeled. And then you get the label and the stigma, and then you're gonna be judged by millions of people. It seemed like now she's in a good place based off of Instagram, whatever the case may be. So I hope that she gets the help that she needs in later episodes. So, as we wrap this thing up, give us your thoughts in the chat box. You've been doing it already anyway. Hey, going back to season 1 version could happen. Let us know. Michaela and Zach, I just believe they still wouldn't have stayed with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They would have left. Some people in the chat believe that if they were at the halfway point, Michaela and Zach would have stayed with each other. I don't know. But let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Please let us know what you think about this past episode of Married at First Sight. Episode number 14. Well, Country Chaos was the title. It was called Country Chaos, and there was a lot of chaos in the country when you dealt with Michaela, Zach, Brett, and Ryan. Before we get out of here, your top 5 this week.
What?
Yeah, your top 5.
I only have 2.
All right, your top 2 then.
Myrla and Gil. As much as I hate to say it, on this episode and the last one, they're pretty stable. Jose and Rachel. If I have to go next, it'd be Brett and Ryan. Tied with Bao and Johnny. And last but not least, Michaela and Zach. Like, just give it up.
Yeah.
Give it up.
Michaela and Zach last for me, and there's no way in the world you can defend, you can't defend her actions in this. I know there have been people online defending Michaela. They've been talking about Michaela this or Zach triggered her. you cannot defend this behavior. And I think that has been a problem. So many people have defended her behavior for so long. You're wrong. And then she'll come back and realize, oh, I'm wrong. I know I should do it. Then change your behavior. When you know you're wrong, you attempt to do better. And shouldn't nobody trigger you to that point? Especially when they're trying to leave away from you.
She wasn't ready to get married either.
She wasn't ready to get married. Of course she wasn't ready to get married. With butt buddies, you can kick them out and tell them to come back next week. You can't do that with husbands. Because you have to deal with it. And she doesn't want to deal with the fact that he doesn't always have to do what she says do. That's what it is. Hey, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell.
You can do your 5, but...
Oh, my 5, sorry. She told me I didn't do my 5. At the bottom, Zach and Michaela. Brett and Ryan. Johnny and Bao. Rachel Jose. Myrla and Gil still at number 1. What hype? Hype still up there too.
Yeah.
Alright. Hey, please check it out. Make sure you check out our Ready to Love review. Make sure you check out other videos that we may put out throughout the week. Hey, once again, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, and we'll catch you down the road. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching us, and we see you guys in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.